Welcome back, language enthusiasts and curious minds.
Today, we have a great topic to talk about SLA.
And you may be wondering, what even is SLA? Well, my curious listeners, SLA means second language acquisition, and it is the study of the human capacity to understand, speak, and write in another language fluently in addition to your L1.
Yes, exactly. L1 is also called mother tongue or native language, but to enter furthermore in the topic, you need to know many other technicisms.
For example, what's an L2 and why is SPE different than ELF and EIL?
And we certainly couldn't forget about TL, native, library, nor foreign language.
But wait, no need to get overwhelmed. Since you're in your lucky day, we're gonna dive into SLA and we're gonna break it down just for you.
Now, let's start the beginning. What is a mother tongue? Mother tongue, first language, or also called L1, is the language you acquire during early childhood, the one you acquire out of the blue when you were a child. And what about L2? Well, L2 or second language is every single language you learn after your L1. Doesn't matter if it's the third, fourth, or fifth. All of them will be called your L2. And it is mostly needed for basic purposes like employment or education, isn't it?
Talking about employment, do you have any idea of how important it is for immigrants to learn many languages, but especially English? Nowadays, it is a requirement in most jobs. But why English? Because of the impact it has internationally. We know English is an international language, but even more important, it is considered a lingua franca. This means it's a language non-native speakers can use to communicate with other non-native speakers.
It is also important to state that there is a difference between learning and acquiring. Learning is the process of studying a language with the same conscious effort needed to acquire other domains of knowledge. For example, when you are studying for an exam or when you learn the multiplication tables. On the other hand, acquiring is the process of learning a language without consciously thinking. You didn't go to classes of Spanish to learn the language, ¿verdad? That's because you, from a young age, started to learn the language without being aware. That's awesome, don't you think, Letzi?
Yes, Natalia. Now, an L2 is mostly for basic purposes, but on the other hand, if you're a doctor or a pilot or maybe a scientist, you're definitely gonna be learning just what you need to know exclusively for your job. Which leads us to our next point, English for specific purposes. This typically focuses on a narrow set of occupation-specific uses and functions.
And even if you are past that student stage, you're still probably gonna need what we call library language, which is a tool for learning through reading different languages.
And here you might be thinking, but guys, what if I only want to travel? Then you, my friend, are going to be learning a foreign language, even though it's not only used for cross-cultural purposes, but also as a curricular requirement or elective in school. Now let's take a deep breath and absorb all of this knowledge we just gave you. Let's relax a little bit while we move on to something not so technical. How would you describe your experience with learning a second language, Natalia?
Well, I started learning English when I was 9 years old in PC. I really liked to go every Saturday in the morning to study the grammar and vocabulary my teachers gave us, and I was really good at it. When I finished it, I moved on to SLA and continued my study of the language. I've always liked English, and the fact that now I'm able to understand it makes me feel really happy.
Yeah, me too. I also started at PC. To be honest, at the beginning I didn't like it at all. I always thought it was taking away too much of my free time, but then I realized I was actually good at it and I loved it. I graduated PC and then I went to PASI and then I also graduated PASI, and I can say it's been one of the best experiences ever.
How about we shake things a little bit?
Yeah, we have a big surprise for you. Right now, in this precise moment, we have a special guest on the line who will remain anonymous to add a bit of mystery to it.
So, mysterious guest, what are you going to share with us today? Hello, and thank you for having me. I'll briefly talk about how important it is for language teachers to truly understand all of these concepts regarding SLA.
Okay, we're all ears.
Well, in my opinion, it is crucial that educators are always aware of the concepts and basis of the subject they are teaching, and even more in SLA, as it empowers future language teachers to create learning environments that are 100 times much more effective, responsive, and supportive, improving their students' learning experience, while at the same time allowing teachers to look at the full picture and analyze the cognitive, social, and psychological process learners go through while learning a language. Also, by staying current with SLA research, teachers can also continuously improve their practices and support towards their students in the language learning journey. Thank you so much, Miss Anderson. I'm sure that our listeners who want to become language teachers appreciate the information you provide, don't you think, Lexi? Why are you so quiet? Did the mouse eat your tongue? No, wait, it's the opposite way around.
You just spoiled our guest name!
No way, I forgot.
It was supposed to be a surprise.
I'm sorry, Lexi, I didn't realize.
Anyways, we thank you, Mrs. Anderson, for your presence in the podcast and you guys for tuning in with us.
Don't forget to follow us in social media.
We're always happy to hear your feedback and suggestions for future episodes.
See you next time.
Bye!